The headlines this month are super confusing, eh, Jordan?
Well, yeah, especially when you read different newspapers. Some would say that market's crashing. Some will say it's even. It's.
Well, and what they say is Toronto home prices rebound.
Yeah.
And on the same line, Toronto real estate plunges into a buyer's market as sales slow and listings surge.
It's nice clickbait, but it doesn't really get at what's going on out there. Let's talk about what's going on out there.
So the TRREB just released the September numbers. So now we're comparing September of 2023 to September of 2022.
Yeah.
Sales were down 7.1%. New listings were up 44%. And active listings were up almost 40%. But the average price was up 3%. So that's really weird.
Kind of confusing.
Super
Things are down,
confusing.
but prices are up.
So what's happening? Yeah,
Exactly.
And as we always say, Jordan, it's very different across property types and location. As an example,
Yeah.
detached houses in the 416 are up 8.5% in price, in terms of price. And condos are actually down almost 5% in the 416. So it really depends on what you're talking about. So we'll talk about both of those things because they're very different right now.
Yes.
And what we've been talking about is I say that supply is leading demand. And what I mean by that is I think buyers were on the sidelines waiting. We know from the conversations we're having.
Yeah, all summer long.
And now that they've seen houses come out, listings come out, now they're like, oh, okay, I think I'm ready to buy.
Right.
And, they do the math in their head, right? They're like, listen, I can get in now. I know interest rates are high. If I buy something I can afford, at least down the road, interest rates come down, I'll participate in that, but prices are going to go up. So I want to get in now before that happens.
Yeah, we deal with a lot of upsizers who've been sitting on the sidelines. They've got a condo often. Their family's growing.
Yeah.
They're trying to get into a house, and it's a good time to do that.
We've had a bunch of those recently.
I've got
three of those. Two right now.
Two of those going on. However, you got to be careful.
Yeah, you got to be careful. So the current sales to new listings ratio, that's what they're talking about when they say buyer's market, is below 40% across really the GTA on a number of different properties, right? That's because listings have really jumped ahead of demand of buying. And we've noticed for houses, there's three kinds of listings, right? There's houses that are move-in ready and are marketed appropriately. Those are seeing bidding wars. There's houses that need lots of renovation.
Yeah.
Those aren't seeing bidding wars because people just don't have the money to do the renos.
Right, and they're often also investors who are not really in the market right now as well.
Right, exactly. Well, that leads us to rental properties.
Yes.
Yeah, and what's happening on rental property.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to cash flow.
Well, yeah, we crunch the numbers on the spreadsheets all the time, and when you're looking at these mortgage rates, it's really hard to cash flow. So despite people talking about rents going up, which is true, the rents aren't going up enough to actually cash flow properties.
Investors often pay a different interest rate too, right? So that also skews the numbers, right?
Sure.
If your cap rate is 5% and you're paying 6 or 7 or 8% to buy an investment product, it's not going to fly. Fundamentals for houses is still strong. There's limited supply and demand is constantly growing. I always say demand doesn't stop, it doesn't go away, it just pauses, right?
Yeah. And I think we deal with a lot of upsizers these days, and our challenge is going from condo to house, which we've done successfully many, many times, but there's some challenges there.
So condos are a different story,
Yes.
right? The current fundamentals for condos is there are a bunch of buildings that were being built, in 2022, when you know what happened then. And those got delayed and now they're finished, so tons of those supplies are
hitting the
coming
market
online.
now.
They're hitting the market now. And folks that pre-qualified to buy their condo are now that they're ready and interest rates are higher, they're not qualifying. So there's a lot of assignment sales.
Yeah, there are some assignment sales out there, and some people are having trouble qualifying, or what they bought at is not what it's worth today, is basically what we're saying. And the banks are going, hey.
That combined with some investors selling because their cash flow negative means there's lots of supply of condos on the marketplace right now.
So what does that mean to you if you're a condo buyer or condo owner and you're looking to upsize? What does that mean?
Yeah, that means, we talk to us first.
Yeah.
We should probably sell first before we buy.
Well, there's some strategies. That's a difficult one because it's also
hard
to buy.
It's very dependent.
Yeah, so we use different strategies. I just executed a sell clause, which in Toronto was unheard of. In other words, there's a clause in there that you do not close on the property until you've sold yours, or we're giving lots of time to close. There's various strategies, but The key is you have to work with experienced agents to manage this market. When you're going from condo, which is harder to sell right now, into a house, which is still a very, very strong market.